today we are taking a trip to Birmingham. Trip to Birmingham, MRI, and we're praying for a reduction in whatever's left of the tumor, or at least same size as it has been. So we've said our prayers for a good, safe trip and positive results on the MRI. So after we get back, we'll let everybody know what happens. So come along with us. Here we are, UAB, on the way to get her MRI. So, see you in a few. All right, everybody, the trip to Birmingham, it was thankfully uneventful, and it was definitely a success. But first, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on Mandy's tumor. And she'd most likely have been living with it her whole life. So it was left there for 40-something years undetected until she started having that loss of mobility in her left arm. And when they decided to do the surgery, they were only able to resect maybe about 80% of the tumor. So there was a little bit left in there still. And she had to go through radiation treatment after that to basically put a lid on the rest of it so it wouldn't grow anymore. And when I said before that she walked into surgery, that was literal. She was what we thought was healthy when she went into surgery, but cutting on the spinal cord is what caused the disability, because there was just so much trauma to the spinal cord and just severed a lot of nerves, and it caused some paralysis in her. So honestly, this trip really turned out completely opposite of what we thought it was going to be. We thought she was going to the hospital to have a surgery and 5 days later come home and maybe recover at the house for a couple months and go back to work. But that definitely wasn't the case. She ended up pretty much paralyzed, and as the spinal cord swelling went down, she started getting a little bit more sensation back, a little bit more movement, but it didn't come back like we had thought. So we're stuck at home like, what do we do? She was definitely not able to do anything, much less go back to work. So this changed the direction of our lives. The tumor board said it was a grade 2 ependymoma, and although it was a cancer, it wasn't able to metastasize to other organs, but it could spread within the spinal cord. So 7 months after surgery, she ended up going through radiation treatment here in Columbus, Georgia at the John B. Amos Cancer Center. And that was a bit of an ordeal in itself, just because of her lack of mobility, being able to get up on the table for the radiation treatment. So after radiation treatment, we're going back to UAB every 6 months to have MRIs, just to make sure the tumor hasn't grown any or any changes or anything negative going on. So over the last 2.5 years, we ain't never seen anything change. It's been virtually the same size. But this last trip the other day, it was a little bit different. We had some different results after that MRI. I want to show you a side-by-side comparison of the two MRIs. The one on the left is from last October of 2018, and the one on the right was this year, May of 2019. Now, last October's MRI on the left, the section in between the arrow and the dot, it's a little bit brighter, more dense concentration in that little contrast. And the one on the right, you can see it's a little bit darker shade. The neurosurgeon said that could have been a little bit of the tumor disintegrating from, the effects of the radiation. Now, we took this as great news because up to date we have not seen any change in the tumors through the MRIs, but now there's a difference. Now there's a darker shade, meaning that there's less contrast there, so there's possibly less tumor there. And this also coincides with some of the increases in Mandy's sensation around her torso, where she had been very numb for a long time. So now she's starting to have some light sensation returning. So we're taking this as a blessing, answered prayers, and the evidence of God's healing hand at work inside of Mandy. And we want to take the time to thank everybody for the prayers, from our family, our friends, our church family at the Way Church, and all the other churches around that put Mandy on their prayer lists. All the Facebook followers, the YouTube subscribers. Want to thank everybody for their thoughts and prayers, and want to ask you to continue to pray for her healing, because we are a Christian couple and we do believe in the power of prayer, and the power of the believers coming together, and their faith all together will work miracles. So we want to thank everybody, and please continue to pray for Mandy. So at the end of the day, we were very pleased with our trip to Birmingham and that MRI. So we're looking forward to the next one, and hopefully we'll see more changes and more results. So y'all come back and check in with us. So hopefully we'll see Mandy get closer from disabled to capable. Thank y'all. We love you, and we'll see you again soon.